So the Vegas Golden Knights needed to win this game in the worst way possible, because then they'd be going back to Vegas down 3-1. All the talk would be, oh, these guys, they can't do it in the later rounds of the playoffs. Then everyone will point to Pete DeBoer and him being a choker. Everyone would also point to Pete DeBoer's decision of putting Robin Lehner in net, because that was the big topic of the day yesterday. And fortunately for Pete DeBoer and the Vegas Golden Knights, they get a win, because there'd be a lot of talk about Lehner starting in net had they lost. And the decision to put Robin Lehner in net would pay dividends early on for Vegas, as he would rob Yoel Armia right in front of the net. There was some talk if that one went in or not. They did review it. It kind of looked like Lehner's glove was over the line with the puck, but they gave him the benefit of the doubt, and it was no goal for the Montreal Canadiens, so we stay at 0-0. Vegas and Robin Lehner would be under siege once again in that second period, as the Montreal Canadiens would come on and put the heat on them. But Lehner stood tall, made lots of great saves, and a lot of people were criticizing the decision to put Robin Lehner in. But let's put it this way, Lehner is a great goalie, and yeah, Fleury's a great goalie too, but really, can you complain about Robin Lehner going in net for Vegas? In my opinion, they have two bona fide number one goalies, so you can't really go wrong with either one of them. And then later on in that second period, Thomas Nosek and Shea Weber would get into it physically. They wouldn't fight, but they would scrum it up enough to gain 2 minutes of penalties for each of them. So it'd be 4-on-4. Vegas would carry the play a little bit on that 4-on-4, and it would result in a Vegas power play. Montreal would kill it off, therefore they would gain momentum on it, and it's Paul Byron in alone on the breakaway who would score with 1 minute and 5 seconds left in that second period to get Montreal up 1-0. Nick Suzuki gets an assist on that. Suzuki seems to have a bit of a knack for springing his teammates on breakaways in this series, but nonetheless it's 1-0 Montreal, and it would stay that way heading into the third period. And then with 12:45 left in the third period, Cole Caulfield would find himself in all alone, but Robin Lehner would make a huge save and shut the door. Much like the Carey Price save on Alex Tuch in Game 3, where if Tuch buried that, the game's probably over. I think the same could be said here. If Caulfield buries that and Lehner doesn't come up big and make that save, the game's probably over. It's probably 3-1 for Montreal right now. But Lehner, like I said, huge save, closes off the 5-hole. It almost looked like Caulfield was going too fast maybe with his hands there, and it didn't really give Lehner time to open up the 5-hole. So Lehner, I mean, he makes the big save and he keeps his team in it at 1-0 here for Montreal. And shortly after that big Robin Lehner save with 9:23 left to go in the third period, a very unlikely source would tie it up for the Vegas Golden Knights, as Brayden McNabb would creep down the backside. First of all, I wouldn't even expect a guy like McNabb, who's not known to be an offensive defenseman, to be that deep in the offensive zone. So McNabb, he comes down the slot, well, not really down the slot, more down the wing, I would say, and he chips one by Carey Price to tie the game up at 1. That one was assisted by William Karlsson. I was going to say Erik Karlsson. William Karlsson. Erik Karlsson was almost a Golden Knight a couple of years ago, so maybe that's why I was thinking about that. And Shea Theodore. So for McNabb, for Vegas, they'll take it definitely. You're not going to complain about getting offense from the defense. Obviously, don't have a lot of offense from forwards in this series, but man, their D has really stepped up to the plate offensively. And in this case, it came from a very unlikely defenseman to do it. And that would be it for the scoring in regulation. We go to overtime for the second straight game in a row, this time tied up at 1. And this time, though, overtime would not last very long like it did last game. Nicholas Waugh, the Quebec native, would beat a sprawling Carey Price as he had the puck in front of the net. Price was down at his mercy. Jesperi Kotkaniemi was there, but he wasn't really there. He didn't really take anyone. He tried to get down and block it too. They both go low. Nick Waugh naturally is going to go high. He buries it into the back of the net, makes no mistake there. Huge moment for the Quebec native to get an overtime winning goal on pretty much his hometown team, I would think. That one was assisted by Max Pacioretty, the former Montreal Canadien, and Alex Tuch too figures in on the scoring for Vegas as well. So that's a great sign for them to see some forward scoring and not just defensemen all the time. Big win for Vegas. They tie the series up 2-2. Now they're going home to Game 5 on their home ice with their great crowd. It's going to be very loud. It's going to be a hard atmosphere for Montreal to play in. And momentum is swinging Vegas' direction, so this is a great sign for them. A lot of Montreal fans have been complaining about the officiating, most notably Chris Lee and his gaffes that he had in Game 4. I thought the officiating maybe wasn't that great in general either. I thought there were some plays where, like Max Pacioretty knocked down Lehkonen there when they were killing the penalty, Montreal was. and that could have been a penalty. Philip Deneau got tripped up by Marchessault shortly after that, and they didn't call it either. Braden McNabb openly punched Nick Suzuki right in the face, and they didn't call that either. But there's non-calls going both ways, but maybe it's a little more in Vegas's factor, or a little more in their direction, I should say. But I don't know, if you're Montreal, you can't make excuses like that. You didn't lose the game because of the officiating. You just got to pick yourselves up, dust yourselves off, and get ready for a big Game 5, because no one's going to feel sorry for you guys. Those are my thoughts on this game. Please let me know what you all think in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video as always. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.